If there is 50% tariff on India as a penalty tariff in India import crude oil from Russia. India imports crude oil from Russia, and the penalty that has been granted to India from United States is 50% tariff. Now question is rising, then why 50% tariff is not imposed on China? China import more oil than India from the Russia. India import 2 million barrel crude oil per day from Russia, and China import 2.4 million barrel crude oil from the Russia every day. If 50% tariff on India, then why only 30% of tariff on China? It should be more than that. And China is driving power behind the BRICS nation. China is driving power behind the SCO, some SCO nations. So tariff on China should be more than India. This is what the rumor were going on. If people remember, in May time frame, there was a tariff deal happened between China and America in Switzerland. Okay, in that is called Geneva Summit or whatsoever. There 30% tariff on the Chinese product entering into USA was decided, and 10% tariff on the American product entering into the China. Now that the declaration was only for 90 days, and 90 days was over 12th of the August. That was yesterday. That 90 days was over. Now it has to be re-evaluated, the new tariff deal. Donald Trump has postponed it for 90 days again. Now there is a big rumor, there is a big noise that is going on in the world. When India import crude oil from Russia, then penalty on India, no trade deal. When China import crude oil from Russia, then there is no problem. When India import crude oil from Russia, then there is a lot of problem. People, they know that European Union, they import $78 billion worth product item from Russia every year, European Union. And in that, the 15 million ton, 15 million ton liquefied natural gas European Union is importing from Russia every day. The biggest buyer of the liquefied natural gas from the Russia. Then no problem in European Union. European Union can import energy product from the Russia. China can import, but only problem with the India. Now for China, there is no penalty on the China has been imposed. Now Donald Trump is saying that China case is different to India. Why it is different to India? Because America import rare earth metal from the China, and in that fashion we cannot go in the same equation what we went with the India. More or less, Donald Trump is saying that America do not import anything from India. More or less, what America is importing from India, that is to in services sector only, and that is of not that much important. So China is more important than India. So no problem. Anyway, this is the one news that is surfacing in the newspaper everywhere, that there is no penalty on the China importing crude oil from the Russia. No problem. No problem at all. If European Union is importing liquefied natural gas from the Russia, no problem. Only problem is if India import from the Russia, because Donald Trump understands that India is a dead economy. Dead economy means without America and European Union, India has no way to earn any money. I remember very well, I believe some 12 year, 13 year, 15-year back, there used to be an advertisement in the television. There is a one actor in the Indian cinema. Now he is asking people not to kind of insult any foreigners. If any foreigner comes to India, he is like Atithi. Atithi means guest. Atithi Devo Bhava. Atithi Devo Bhava means guest is like our God. So we have to behave our guests who are coming from the foreign country, means European nation or America or Canada or Australia or whatsoever, like our God. Don't insult them. What next that actor is saying, that would be mind blowing to anyone. If foreigner do not come to India, if foreigner do not come to India, then what we will eat? Indians are eating because of the money that are being brought by the foreigner. This is on record. Anyone can watch. If foreigners do not visit to India, then what we will eat? Indians are eating because of the foreigners' money. India is not an agricultural country. India is like a Middle East where the India buys food grains. If foreigners do not come to the India, they do not bring money, then where from we will buy the food grains? This is the condition of India now. And that's why Donald Trump is commenting on India that India is a dead economy. Whatever India is receiving money, it is because of the grace from the America, Canada, or European Union only. Anyway, I have always maintained that Donald Trump generally he is not found lying. Either he will keep quiet or he will say something that you don't like. But it is not false statement. This is what we have seen. When Donald Trump said like that India is a dead economy, then there was a huge noise that started in India. Indian defense minister, he said that India is not a dead economy. Rather, India is a progressive economy. India is the boss. Indian Prime Minister he found saying that India is a progressive economy. And 11 years back, what the Indian export was, that was $400 billion. Now it is more than $800 billion. India economy is going like this. It is not a dead economy. Indian Prime Minister also said he advocated for the Indian economy is not dependent upon America. This is indirectly he is trying to say. Okay. Beyond that, he was found saying to the people that buy local products only. Don't buy the foreign products. Means we don't like America. Now question started arising in India that if Indian Prime Minister is so against the American government now because he does not like what Donald Trump is saying, then what will happen to the American company in India? What will happen to the companies who are taking projects from American company like TCS, Wipro, Infosys? These are the company who are completely on the American and European companies only. What will happen to them? Will their client will cancel the project or these people will cancel whatsoever, or Indian government would intervene and they will cut all the projects as far as America is concerned. Only America is concerned. American company they have to pack back, pack and they have to go back. Okay, in that fashion, now rumors started floating in India. What will happen to American investment in India when Indian government is completely against the America? Indian defense minister to everyone is talking against the America. What will happen to them? Okay, a big news is surfacing now that Indian Prime Minister is going to United States. By the August end, Indian Prime Minister would go to the China, Tianjin for the SCO meeting, Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting, summit. Indian Prime Minister would visit there and he will be backbone along with Russia and China to float a new currency called BRICS currency, and that will be in parallel to the dollar. That was the key concept. Now people found India. Russia is anyway, it is not along with the America as far as trade is concerned. And China is completely, it has monopoly now as far as the world trade is concerned. India is the third one who is very big in the SCO. Now when India is also taking sideline, doing the sideline with the America, now it was understood that the new currency is inevitable, imminent. It will happen now. Now all of the sudden news is surfacing that Indian Prime Minister, what he is Mr. This and that is not the concern now. Indian Prime Minister is now he is Indian Prime Minister is set to visit United States next month, 80th summit, 80, 80th summit of the United Nations General Assembly is set to begin on the 23rd of the September in New York. 23rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 29th, 7 days. In that 195 countries, their representative, they will get chance to address the United Nations. Indian Prime Minister is going there. Indian Prime Minister is going to United States rather than I would say United Nations. He is going to United States. Now people are saying the news is coming that Indian Prime Minister, the main concept is to have a one-on-one discussion with the Donald Trump out there. Means he is now running behind Donald Trump. Till some time back, India was boss. India was a progressive economy. India has nothing to do with America. Now there is a solid news that is coming now that Indian Prime Minister is visiting America next year. I'm sorry, next month. In this year 2025, this will be his second visit. And there, more or less, he will talk to Donald Trump about the 50% tariff. This is what is printed in the newspaper. This is something that I won't say this is a matter of ashamed to Indians, but I would rather say this is a matter of surprise to anyone. No one is understanding what is the mathematics behind it. One side, Indian National Security Advisor, NSA, National Security Advisor, Mr. Ajit Doval, he is going to Russia and meeting Vladimir Putin. And then he is inviting Vladimir Putin to visit India. And on another side, Indian Prime Minister is running to America when for past 2 weeks he was vomiting venom against America. Donald Trump was vomiting venom against India, and India was vomiting venom against America. Then all of a sudden, Indian Prime Minister is deciding to visit United States and to Donald Trump. No one is able to understand this mathematics. The mathematics is India want association with the Russia as far as security is concerned, and India want to keep association with the America as far as economy is concerned. If this is true, then where Donald Trump is saying wrong that India is a dead economy. India is a dead economy where Donald Trump is wrong. When Indian Prime Minister is running to meet Donald Trump in America in 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 in, in a scenario what people have seen in a contradictory scenario in a scenario that is not conducive to India, in a scenario that is anti to India, still Indian Prime Minister is going and to the United Nations Assembly to meet Donald Trump out there. This is something that is big slap on the face of fortune tellers. Whatever fortune tellers they were thinking about India's future, no one would have anticipated that Indian Prime Minister would take a U-turn and he will run to the America. This is what is happening now. Okay, 26th of the September, Indian Prime Minister will address United Nations. That is the news that is surfacing. United Nations has 6 organs: United Nations General Assembly, United Nations Security Council, the Secretariat, International Court of Justice, then Trade and Economic and Socio Council and Trusteeship Council. 6 organs are there. Where United Nations General Assembly is important in a way that it decides for the non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. Their United Nations General Assembly is important, and it is a policy maker. If somebody decides that this day will be no cigarette day worldwide, this day of the year will be no cigarette day worldwide, then it has to pass through the United Nations General Assembly. That is the idea. Now, Canadian Prime Minister Mr. Mark Carney, now he is to set to bring a resolution in United Nations Security Council in the September to have a new country called Palestine that will be carved out of Israel. The West Bank and Gaza Strip, they will become a new country. This resolution he is bringing in the United Nations General Assembly, and there is 193 member out there, and every vote has has same weightage, equal weightage. So out of 193, I believe if half of them or two-thirds, I don't know what is the majority set there. If majority vote goes behind the new Palestine country, then Palestine country will come out. This is a big session that is awaited in the United Nations General Assembly. But this is something that is very different for the fortune tellers if they had anticipated anything about the India's future. This is completely different move that Indian Prime Minister has taken out of the way. But anyway, now two scenario would happen from this. First of thing, first of this is that people would believe on the opponent if Indian Prime Minister is contradicting anyone. If Indian Prime Minister contradicted Donald Trump saying that he intervened between India and Pakistan to bring ceasefire between India and Pakistan, then worldwide they will trust Indian opponent or person who is making contradictory statement. That is Donald Trump, not Indian Prime Minister. This is a big thing that will happen. People will lose trust on the Indian Prime Minister's statements if he is making contradictory statement with anyone. If Donald Trump is saying that India is a dead economy and Indian Prime Minister is saying that India is a progressive economy, then people will trust Donald Trump. Because it is not Donald Trump who is coming to India. It is Indian Prime Minister he is going to meet, and it is now up to Donald Trump he will meet Indian Prime Minister or not. That is the matter to be seen. When Donald Trump is said to meet Vladimir Putin, then Donald Trump is tweeting, is putting on X that as Donald Trump, President of United States, I am going to meet Mr. Putin on 15th of August in Alaska for the discussion on Ukraine. He has tweeted on the X, but he has never tweeted on X that I am going to meet Indian Prime Minister. Means if it is China, if it is Russia, then utmost respect to them. But if it is India, then on daily basis insult to India. Daily basis. This is what right now going on. What will happen to the next? Next is that companies, American companies or Indian company who have to deal with the American company, they need not fear now. Okay, Indian people who are living in the United States, certainly their prestige will be low. That is guaranteed. Their prestige will be low. Because if you make changes, uncausal changes, unpredictable changes, if you start making, then people will lose trust on you. This will happen on India and Indians and Indian Prime Minister. I don't know what is the future that is set to happen. Now everyone is in dismay. Everyone is in dismay. This is what we can say. We will see what will happen when Indian Prime Minister goes there. If he really gets chance to meet Mr. Donald Trump, okay, if it meets, then will India break the tie with the Russia, and it will do whatever America is saying? We don't know.